what was the first piece of action you took after listening to Keep the Change King? You remember where you're like, okay, pennies dropped, I'm going to do that. Is there anything you can think of?
I think probably the first thing I did was review my KiwiSaver, because you were talking about, Bitcoin and a few different investments. And so I thought, hey, well, let me look at what I've already got invested. So I said, okay, well, I've got this 54,000 in KiwiSaver. Why don't I look at where to put that? So I did some investigation and shifted that over to a provider who I've been really happy with. So it's gone up 21,000 this year, which is mostly from returns, because I was on maternity leave for most of the year. So that's been really great.
So an easy win reviewing KiwiSaver. Nice.
Easy win reviewing KiwiSaver. And then another thing I did was start investment accounts for the kids. So I've been putting $25 a week away for them, as well as I've been getting the Best Start tax credit. And I thought, well, it's what, $60-$70 a week. It's not a big deal for me.
Just on that, to get that Best Start tax credit, that process has changed, right?
All you have to do is register on IRD. You say that you've had a child, and as long as I think you've had, I think you just have to put the birth certificate or something on there, and that's about it. It's very straightforward anyway. And then you start getting Best Start payments.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah. So you've taken those, and then you are investing for the kids.
So I get that fortnightly, and I just put that straight into their investment accounts. Yeah.
And how did you, because that's where people will get stuck, right? And we're not going to talk about specific providers or anything, but it'd be like, who do I go with, or like what funds? And
well, like you say, just pick one, right? Otherwise you'll sit there all day thinking about who the best one is, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is you're doing it.
Nice.
And I think probably the difference is pretty negligible over most of them, and also you can review it each year. So So occasionally review it and go from there.
And so did you set up automatic payments for those?
So I've set up automatic payments. So they go through to the investment company, and then I have like an auto invest set up. So I've selected what I want to invest in, which I guess I'm keeping it simple. So I'm just putting it in S&P 500 and a global fund for them. And then
I was talking recently to someone about investing for kids, and they were saying to me that they find it easier to invest for their children than they do for themselves, because they get to think so much longer term than in this sort of near term volatility. Or if you're thinking about it at the moment, the S&P 500 has just gone past a high, and then people are saying like, oh, well then, could it crash? Should I, not be investing yet? Should I wait for it to crash? Whereas I think when you've got kids, it's basically like, well, it's probably inevitable that by the time they get to need that cash or get to see it, there's probably going to be some form of crash. So just get going, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think the same for us. I mean, I suppose it's different when you're older. But I've set up exactly the same for me and my husband as a emergency fund. So we're just popping $100 a week into that one. At the moment we've got 1,500 in there. I started a few months ago. Hopefully we're building up to 30,000 just so that it can cover a few months of expenses.
Nice.
And then
So you haven't previously had an emergency fund?
I haven't previously, and I feel like it would have saved a lot of stress.
Really?
If we had.
Yeah. In what way?
Well, I suppose calling on the bank of the parents is a big one, right? It's what we do. An emergency comes up, and you either put it on the credit card or, say, Mum, Dad, can we borrow some money? And up it'll go on the fridge account.
I was about to say, it'll be on the fridge account still.
Fridge account, you know. So that's something that happens often. And
do you track the increase in the emergency fund like you do the debt decrease?
I should do. I do put it in like my notes on my phone every now and then. I have used your spreadsheets, and I don't know, just like carrying things with me, and I don't, so I've just used notes on my phone. Usually I find it simplest, and so I pop in there. I just do a little net worth calculation and a budget and that kind of thing from there. I do that every couple of weeks. Once we get money through. Obviously we've got a few different income streams. So
it's a bit to juggle. And I think that's the importance. Like I'll say, hey, look, there's some free templates here, but my shit is never designed to be like, this is the best stuff, you must do this, you must follow this. It is get started with this and outgrow it. Like find something that works for you. So I'm glad that you touch on that it's like, okay, I've tried that, it didn't really, but it got you on the path, hopefully, right? And then you find something that works for you.